Hello everyone, it is Grunty, and in today's video we are going to be showing you how Halo 4 looks better than Halo 5. I did do a video previously on Halo 3 and how Halo 3 looked better than Halo 5, so make sure you go check that one out too while you're at it. And anyway, let's get into today's video. This was requested by a lot of people to showcase Halo 4, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to be looking at today is the gun detail. As you guys can see, the Halo 4 assault rifle is actually heavily textured. As you guys can see, the metal on this weapon, it's just heavily textured. You guys can see there's definitely a metal texture here on the assault rifle, a lot of scuff marks and scratches. Overall, it looks like a realistic weapon, just from how much detail is put into the assault rifle. It definitely looks realistic. It doesn't look like a toy or anything. Looks like a full-on weapon. Now let's switch over to Halo 5's, and as you guys can see, the textures that you saw in Halo 4 are pretty much gone, and instead you're getting a very shiny weapon with literally like no metal texture. It literally looks like just some shiny plastic on the weapon. No scratch, scuff marks, nothing like that. Looks clean as can be, looks brand new, and like I said, it looks like a plastic weapon. It looks like a toy. It does not look like a real gun, and clearly is a downgrade from the Halo 4 assault rifle. So clearly, yeah, Halo 4 assault rifle looks a lot better. Let's head over to the Warthog detail in Halo 4. We're going to be seeing a lot of textures here inside the Warthog. A little few textures here and there that necessarily aren't that good looking, I will admit, but mostly a lot of the detail inside of the Warthog looks pretty well done. Really the only wrong texture there was the steering wheel. There's a little problem with it, but as you guys can see here, there's no solid like just color here. There's different colors like you saw on the wheels. There's dirt, and there's a clear metal texture on the Warthog itself, along with some scratches, scuff marks on the sides, as you guys can see. Here's a look inside again. On the other side, looks pretty good. Yeah, the dirt. These actually look better than they do in Halo 5. You guys will see they look a little bit better. But overall, like, yeah, see dirt on the wheels. Mostly just, yeah, the solid texture, scuff marks. It doesn't look fake at all. It looks like a realistic Jeep. But we come into Halo 5 and no dirt on the wheels. They look like they're a Hot Wheels. They look like they're a toy. There is some good detail here on the tire, I will admit. But the rest of the vehicle, there's no scratches. Like you can see the little scuff marks here and there, but they're definitely not as noticeable. And look at that. That just looks terrible compared to Halo 4's. But the thing here is, and I've said this in the last video, the whole Warthog itself is a solid color. It's lacking an actual texture on the vehicle itself that would have, like metal or something. It just looks like a solid colored block, kind of like Forge has. And inside, you guys can see there's less going on here, less texture, just more solid colors. We still got screws and stuff inside, but it's a little bit of a downgrade from Halo 4's, but yeah, just you guys can see there's no solid metal. Taking a look here at the Warthog explosions, you guys can see there's a lot of fire going on there in that Halo 4 explosion. We come over to Halo 5, no big fire explosion, we just see a lot of sparks again. We'll go ahead and look back at the Halo 4 explosion, and you guys can see fire, just huge fire. You got some sparks coming out, some smoke. It overall looks better because there's a fire explosion. You gotta have that fire explosion. In Halo 5, it lacks that, and as you guys can see, just little flames, but mostly just huge sparks with a little black kind of just smoke, a little bit area around it. It's not much of an explosion, really. It isn't. Let's go over here to grenades, and you guys can see, shockingly enough, these grenades are literally exactly the same. I'm not seeing much of a difference here, other than maybe Halo 4's explosion is a little bit less smaller, just from the looks of it, but they're practically the same, so I have no input on it. It depends really on your opinion, what you think about it. But here we go into the water in Halo 4, and overall it looks pretty good. It's decent, it looks nice. you know, has a very realistic look. It definitely looks like it's windy outside, though, just from all the waves that you guys can see, or little mini waves here, or the current. And now we're in Halo 5, and there's a big difference. The color has changed. Obviously, that's probably just because of the map that we're on. But not just that, the water, it's less... It's not going as wild as Halo 4's, but the water just feels so two-dimensional, and like you can't even really see it when you're up close to it. So Halo 4's looks a lot better. Looking at the textures here, we're on Valhalla still in Halo 4, and the textures, they aren't bad. You guys can clearly see what is what. You know, okay, that's clearly grass, and it looks like grass. It looks like there's a bunch of leaves there. You know, and then you have the dirt. You could see rocks all over the ground. You could tell what it is. Doesn't look too pixelated or anything, so the textures are pretty good. And then we head over here to the rocks, and the rocks, they're a little bit blurry. I'll admit, in some parts of the rocks, they're blurry, but they look like rock. You know, it looks good. Halo 4 rocks have always kind of had this weird look to it, but they look good. They look like rocks. Overall, it's pretty nice looking. Does not look bad. Doesn't look overly pixelated. So, yeah, the Halo 4 rocks, they're good looking. The ground textures are really good looking. Just here you guys can see more rock textures. So now we come over to Halo 5, and the textures, admittedly, okay, that looks fake. Obviously, the stuff on the ground are pretty fake. They look like Play-Doh. Obviously, from, you know, if you were a little bit higher up, yeah, it looks okay. But up close, it looks pretty bad. You got some Play-Doh rocks here on screen. They're not even like a texture. Look at that. It's Play-Doh. A lot of the textures are blurry, and some areas are just look really weird and pixelated, like these black marks right here. Looks super weird. But you could tell it's grass, and mostly it's just grass. So it's kind of up to you to decide. I don't know. It looks a little weird to me. The grass is lumpy and stuff. It's odd. But, you know, Halo 4 looks better with that grass. But here we're talking about rocks now because we're looking at rocks. The rocks, I don't know what this texture is, but it looks super weird. It doesn't even look like rock. Like, I don't know. It's just not look like a proper texture for a rock. If anything, you know, it looks like sand. And even though sand is many rocks and all that, this just looks so weird. You know, and even going back to Warzone, what kind of rock textures is this? This is absolute crap. The rocks are just super weird in this game. They either are just Play-Doh rolls, or they're completely weird low-resolution textures, or they just have a weird texture over them, or they look pixelated like this. You know, this is super pixelated. You can't even tell what this is. You know, it just doesn't look right. It looks like a piece of bread. Anyway, let's go into the armor here. The armor looks really good. You know, looks realistic. There's a bunch of scuff marks and scratches. Like you could see, you just going up close. Look at how the lines on the armor and the scratch marks. You know, everything looks good. It looks really good. Dark spots, you know, it looks like it got dirty. Does not look like brand new armor, and you know, it looks realistic. You know, so just looking around, you guys will see all the detail. There is no empty spots where it's just a solid color, or you know, just one simple texture. Everything is textured completely. Like there's all kinds of different textures on top of each other on this armor. It looks really well done, and I will admit, yeah, it looks good. Now the colors, obviously, that doesn't matter. Color doesn't matter. It's Halo 4 had some pretty odd color choices, pretty bland, but overall the texture quality of this armor is super good, and it looks great. It looks realistic for how the game is. But when we come over to Halo 5, people are going to say that the armor looks a lot more crisp in Halo 5, but one of the biggest problems with Halo 5's armor is how shiny it is. Even with leather or whatever, the armor is extremely shiny, either when it's dark or just in certain places, which is pretty bad looking. And you guys will see there is, you know, good amount of detail here, but the detail looks like it might look good to you, okay, because it's a lot more crisp in Halo 5. The thing is there's less texture than there was in Halo 4 and in the Halo 5 armor. You guys can see, yes, there's a bunch of scuff marks and, you know, stuff like that, but there isn't a lot of scratches. You're seeing what looks like, and if you guys just pay attention, it looks like they're just taking all these scuff marks and they're just copying and pasting it all across the armor. I'm just seeing the same scuff looking marks all across the armor, and it seems like that's the only part of the detail. While in Halo 4, all the scuff marks and scratches look completely different. There's no copied and pasted looking marks on the armor. So Halo 4's looks better. But one thing I also noticed in Halo 4 and Halo 5, if you guys see in Halo 5, the skyboxes, they admittedly look good. Okay, that's a fact. They do look good. I'm not gonna lie on that. This is nice looking, but it's just absolutely terrible compared to Halo 4's. I mean, just look at this. It's absolutely beautiful. There's so much detail in these Halo 4, skyboxes. You even got, a Hornet over here flying in the background, which why the hell was this not in multiplayer? What the hell? But you got all this going on. I mean, the detail goes on all the way down there. You could see that, like, literally the whole entire city. It goes on for ages. You got flying vehicles in the background. It doesn't look like a dead city. It looks real. And I mean, look at it. You can even see driving cars in the background, flying vehicles, all this. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. Even just looking at the sky, you got these giant asteroid moon looking, places. You got this building, just all the detail in this looks absolutely amazing. And Halo 5's look dead. And let's go to another skybox. Here we have Empire. Another city, right? Look at that. Okay, you got a couple pelicans, nothing else. Even when you look down, you see those cars down there? They're not moving. It's just a solid texture. In the Halo 4 skybox, in the nighttime one that we just saw, there was actual moving vehicles. I mean, it just does not look that good. There's nothing going on. The city looks dead, and it looks like there's just less going on in the background. I mean, this admittedly looks good, but it just did not look good as Halo 4. Halo 4's looked great. Comparing it to this, look at that. You got a full-on war going on in the background of this map. You look at that. Look at that. This city's under attack in the background. There's sirens going off. You got this huge smoke cloud. You got this actual ship right there in the corner, the left side, that's actually leaving. Like, look at that. That's cool. There's so much going on. It looks like an actual war. And check this out. It goes right over the map. The best thing you're going to see in Halo 5, something like this, is a damn pelican flying around your map in Empire. Look at that. That's absolutely cool. It looks like a true war. Look at all that. Look at the huge city. Looks so good. And it just goes to show that Halo 5's is absolutely boring. So that's pretty much it for this video. We went over pretty much all the basic things in both of the games in terms of the graphics and the, how good they looked. And clearly, Halo 4 looks way better than Halo 5. Halo 5 suffers a lot of non-textured objects, just solid colors. There's no textures on a lot of things, so that's a big problem in the game. It also suffers from shiny armor that looks like toys. I mean, the game looks like Play-Doh and toys, while Halo 4 was completely textured and had a way more realistic look. And I mean, like, it's sad that a 360 game on the Xbox One looks better than a game that came out only on the Xbox One. But it just shows how much more time that 343 had spent on Halo 4 than Halo 5. I mean, that tells you something. They had the ability to make the game look better than it is in Halo 5, but they didn't. Just look at Halo 4 though. It looks so much better than Halo 5, and it's by 343 Industries. I mean, for real, look at the skyboxes that we just saw. There was a huge difference, The Halo 5 skyboxes were so dead, there was not much going on, and they were small too. Like, it wasn't huge detail in the backgrounds. Halo 4 had it all, man. It's crazy, and that's just a portion of what else is in Halo 4 in terms of textures. Just looking at the maps, they're so beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful in Halo 4. While Halo 5, suffers from Play-Doh. But I know I'm going to get a lot of hate comments and disagreements in the comment section, and that's understandable. People are going to disagree, but I mean, this is clearly a better looking game than Halo 5, so anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here before I start repeating whatever I said in this video so it doesn't get repetitive. But let me know what you guys want to see next for, this series. If you guys want me to compare Halo Reach, Halo Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo 1 Anniversary, let me know down in the comments, and I'll be sure to do that and compare those two games together, and obviously prove that even those would look better than Halo 5. Anyway, that is it. I'm out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.